We're going to send an email.
All right, so here we are. It's Thursday night. This is the fourth to the last Thursday night. I'm gonna do three more after this one, and then it's gonna go the way of the dodo. You know, I'm not saying I'll never do it again, but I'm definitely putting it to sleep for a while. I want to let you guys all know that if you live far away from where I am, we could easily do this. Gather your friends together, you know, and I'll put on a show for you and your friends on Zoom if you want. We don't have to stream it or anything, so we have that as a possibility. But the Thursday thing, you know, I dedicate this whole day to it. You know, I've been practicing songs and all that stuff today, so and now that I'm out gigging, I gigged last weekend. Yay!
Yeah.
Yay. So, Marsha was there and Meg at the Bull Run. I went to Passim, played for my fans. I had a hug line at the end. You know, I didn't want to call it a COVID line. I called it a hug line. And so that's where we're at. And tonight, an after party, Peter Lendorf and Alistair Mook are going to join us. I don't know who else might pop in, but let me play a few songs. Whatever, you know, just see how it goes. And thanks for coming. Good to see you all. Hi, Sarah.
Hey, John. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. How do you like the show so far? Is it going good? Good.
Awesome. Stunning.
No wife and a husband. They had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16. Whoop, wait a second. Do a little tech work here. When I know a wife and a husband. They had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16. You won't believe what he did. Smoked a lot of marijuana. He snorted cocaine too. Told his parents he was gonna drop out of school. The father pounded on the table. The mother hollered and she screamed. They ran him down to the doctor. Doctor, what does this mean? He put them all on Prozac. Right then, right there. He said, you still have your problems, but now you just won't care. And he prescribed a little therapy, some supplementary drugs, but he didn't write a script down for a little more love, just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better. See a little more love. No wife and a husband, they had a shiny little kid. When that kid turned 16, you won't believe what she did. She said, Mom, I'm sleeping over Susan's. That was just a big lie. What she really was doing, staying out all night. And when her parents found out, they cried boo-hoo-hoo. Then they called the radio talk show. They asked him, what should we do? He said, send her off to boot camp. That was his advice. It was good for his ratings, but it wasn't very nice. Just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better. See a little more love. I can see that you're a tough guy. You won't be pushed around. You are not gonna take it. You're good at putting your foot down. You might get killed by lightning and you might get hit by a truck. If you are not that lucky, you might just wind up spending years in a rest home without a whole lot to do. But look back on what you did with the time God gave you just a little more love. What the heck could it hurt? It might not fix nothing, at least it won't make things worse. When you're looking at your lifetime from the end when you are done, you know it might look a little better, big, rough, tough guy to see a little more love. It might look a little better. See a little more love.
All right, Don.
And there they are. Hello, everybody. Welcome. If you're on Facebook or you have a Facebook page or something like that, go ahead and share this so we can let people know that it's happening. Here's one. This could turn out to be a pretty good gig. I mean, the sound system's good enough. They got a microphone, something on the floor that looks like a monitor. You know the crowd looked good when they were coming in, except the guy down the front who's buzzed. I hope it doesn't try to interrupt the show. It'll be a long night if he does. I don't know about nothing, I don't know. Well, you should have seen me when I was 23. I could sure put on a show. I wave my arms around and jump up and down for the whole entire show. I was trying to distract the audience from all the things I didn't know. The woman that hired me pulled me aside earlier today. She said the pastor and his wife are coming tonight. Don, be careful what you say. I said fuck him, then I said I'm just kidding. I promise I will not curse. It was funny to me, but it was plain to see it was not funny to her. I don't know about nothing, I don't know. You should have seen me when I was 23. I could sure put on a show. I couldn't play or sing, I would be bluffing for the whole entire show. I was trying to distract the audience from all the things I didn't know. Well, I could tell the crowd was nervous when I opened with this song. They were thinking I would be a lot funnier, and they were hoping that they weren't wrong. But now some time's gone by and I can see them smiling, and we're having a pretty good time. And if the drunk down front will just pass out, I'm thinking this could be a real good night. I don't know about nothing, I don't know. You should have seen me when I was 33. I could sure put on a show. I couldn't play or sing, I would be bluffing for the whole entire show. I still do that, I'm doing it right now. I was hoping that the audience couldn't see all the things I didn't know. Alright, it's Deep Track Night on my show.
Yeah. Woo-hoo! The B-sides.
Song I never saw the light of day. I'm not sure I've ever even played it. It's really just for other musicians who have to play bars and stuff like that. Alright, so Kevin's here from Chicago. Kevin, are you here, buddy?
Hey!
Alright, so Kevin comes all the time. I have to tell Kevin and everybody who lives out there, I'm plotting to come out to Chicago. I figure now that the world is turning in my direction, I want to get to Chicago. I have some friends out there, our Kevin and this other fella, Eric, and his wife, and Marilyn Ray Byer is out there now, and I just want to try to figure out how to make a swing through there. So, and he asked me to play this song, so I'm going to play it. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock back in 1969. She keeps her ticket stub and a chunk of mud at her house in a little shrine. She was always the girl in the hippie dress twirling at the shows by the Grateful Dead. If you ask her about it, man, you better sit down. Grandma will talk the ears right off your head. If you get to talk about the Grateful Dead, the Summer of Love or the Kool-Aid Acid Test. Jenny was always into glory when she could hear the stories from grandma's hippie friends about peace and love, taking care of one another, how great it all was back then. And And at night she would dream of being on the bus with Keezy seeing Jimmy in 69. But when she wasn't dreaming, she always had the feeling that somehow she'd been born in the wrong time. You know, you should have been 20 in 1969. All the gray-haired hippies say that all the time. But the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica. Man, they're having all kinds of fun singing. There's only 1 minute if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love you, Grandma, but Bible rhyme dice never said, be there then. It's gonna take a big leap of faith if you really wanna find your tribe. Those were the first words that Jenny heard in a song that she found online. And that song she drove all the way to Minnesota to the Shangri-La Festival. And there they all were, all the people like her who grew up believing that they were all alone. They said, hey girl, welcome home. Because the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are driving down the road the way to Minnesota, having all kinds of fun singing. Jimmy and Jerry are dead and buried and they're never coming back again. Love you, Grandma, but Bible rhyme dice never said, be there then. Jenny's grandma went to Woodstock in 1969. Since then she believed there was never gonna be a better time, and that's alright. But if you don't take your big leap of faith and get out there and find your scene, it will pass you by while you are trying to find your grandma's long gone Woodstock memories. Her Woodstock memories. Because the cool grandchildren of the cool young women who danced in the Woodstock mud are living on the beach in Montezuma, Costa Rica, having all kinds of fun singing. There's only 1 minute if you're not living in it, it's never coming back again. Love you, Grandma, but Bible rhyme dice never said, be there then.
Woo! All right, John. Yeah.
All right,
Well done.
It's starting to fill up with my little army of misfits here. I see Shannon and Tim are coming in from New Mexico. My friend Moira from Detroit. Hi, Moira. How are you, dear?
Hey there. Doing
Good to
better
see you.
today, thank you.
Good. I glad to hear that you're feeling good. I'm made plans to come out to Michigan, you know, so May 6th.
Ooh.
In Ann Arbor. And then I'm looking to fill in the weekend. It's Mother's Day weekend. Maybe we could horrify somebody's mom while I'm out there. That'd be good. Neil Braverman's here. Hi, Neil. Good to see you.
Hey there. How's the birthday boy?
I'm well into my 65th year now.
Oh my goodness. I remember that decade.
You remember that decade? That's right. That was 2 decades ago for you, right, Neil? That's
You got
right.
it.
Yeah. Let's see. Sherry, hi. Nice to see you. David and Lenny from, well, they may be in Florida there, but nice to see you. Hi, David. Good to see you. And Tommy and Marlene from Nebraska. I'm going to Kansas in, when is that? April. And so I'll see Marlene and Tommy. And maybe we'll have the lunch that COVID killed on us last time. How about that? We were all set to have lunch while I was out there, and then it was like, you know, my daughter said I shouldn't be hanging around with anybody who's breathing during COVID. So we did that.
That was a bad time. That was just about.
What's that?
That was just exactly 2 years ago, almost. You know.
This week. So you must have the cranes out there now. Have you seen the cranes?
Yeah, we were driving back from Omaha today and saw a bunch of them out in the fields, and so they're coming. So
So in
they're
case you
here.
guys don't know, you know if you care about this, but They live near the Platte River in Nebraska. And starting right now and through the end of the month, upwards of 600,000 sandhill cranes fly in and rest on it's like a resting point on their migration. And it is, every sandhill crane is this high. So 600,000 of them is like, you're never the same after you see it. I'm telling you. There's just
Wow.
the sounds of it and the sights of it. Just the sky just filled with just hundreds of thousands of cranes. It's really something. And so, we're talking already about getting back out there. My grandson is 3. I'm not sure. He likes the birds. He tells me all the time. This will blow his mind. So, if you're looking for a bucket list thing, if that's the kind of thing you like, go to Kearney, Nebraska, and around the Platte River, and man, I can't wait to do it again. So I played this weekend. I played 2 shows. We got a bull run out in Shirley, Mass. We had about 80 people, which, normally I would fill that room up to 300 or 250, but we're grading on a curve these days. And 80 was pretty good. And then the next day we played at Club Passim, and that was fun too. I got a lot of emails from people, very emotional, telling me how much fun it was and all that, and how nice it was to go back out. So, and I didn't get sick or anything. Nobody did, as far as I know. So I think the world is turning in my direction.
Don, you look like you had so much fun Sunday at Club Passim. It was unbelievable.
So you watched it on the live stream, right, Kevin?
You got that right.
And I didn't know it was going to be a live stream because I could not get there physically, but
Yeah.
I didn't know about the live stream.
Passim always live streams their show for future reference. Anybody
Yeah.
who's there. Same thing with Cafe Lena. And a lot of venues through COVID now, they're going to be doing that, of course, so.
After the show, what kind of fun did you have for your birthday, Don?
I went home and went to bed. I did the bull run the night before, got home at midnight, got to sleep at 1, woke up at 8, drove to Cambridge by 10, did the show, and at the end of it, I felt every minute of 65 years old. I really did. I ate ice cream because my throat was sore, and I went home. All right. I lost my mother, I lost my father. Well, I really didn't lose them. I know exactly where they both are. It's not like they went for a walk, took a wrong turn and both got lost. It just hurts less to say I lost them than to say they're dead. Betty May is 82. She's having more fun than me and you. All she wants to do is laugh and sing. She's the biggest flirt I ever seen. Still flutters those baby blues like she did when she was 22. So much mischief in those eyes. I never seen someone more alive. More alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. When my mother died, I was so smashed up inside. I was crying like a baby. I thought the pain might kill me. And Betty said, son, you won't believe how many loved ones I buried. My father, sister, my brother, son, my husband, and my mother. And every time I lose a friend, I think I'm never going to laugh again. I lay around and watch bad TV till this feeling comes over me, and then I put some music on and play my favorite song, dance around my living room like I did when I was 22, to shake loose of that pain inside on the day when I decide not only will I survive, I'm going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. She said, go ahead, feel your pain. We'll watch bad TV for days, but when you're ready to come out and play, you come see Betty May, and we'll put some music on and play your favorite song, dance around my living room like we both were 22, and shake loose of that pain inside all the day when you decide not only will you survive, you're going to be more alive, more alive, more alive, waiting on the other side of all the sorrow and the trouble in your life. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, they can make you more alive. There are so many sad goodbyes in a long and well-lived life. If they don't break you, in time they can make you more alive.
Woo! Beautiful.
Thanks, Don.
Yeah.
Such a good one.
Really nicely done, Don.
Thanks. It's good to see you all. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody in person. So on my list here, like I just checked off 2, Megan, Marcia. I saw them this weekend, and as we said earlier, they got to meet each other. So they realized that they weren't each holograms, and they're gonna have to wear name tags because they're used to seeing their names on the bottom of their squares now. So and let's see, I saw Kara at an outdoor show this fall. That was good. Going out to Michigan, maybe I'll see Moira. And so here, this is a song. So I played with some friends of mine this weekend, and I have to tell you, I've said this before, that the you realize what you're giving up while you're giving it up. It's not healthy for you to do that. It's too much. But when I realized how long it's been since I played music with, did the thing that I love, performed for a live audience. When we first rehearsed, the 3 of us, Christina Thompson, Lively, Everett Pendleton, and myself, and we played this song, and when it came to the chorus and everybody sang, I had to stop the song and I was overwhelmed with emotion by the sound of 3-part harmony. That's a lot to give up. The thrill of singing with other people and how it feels, it's something I'll never take for granted again, I don't think. And so we did this song. Those of you that were at Passim or that watched online, this was a big point in the night where it sort of built the whole show up to this moment. She walked into the room like she was walking off a cliff. In my mind I said, what kind of shattered angel is this? Her walk said, I've surrendered. In her face, I've had enough. Her eyes were holes, they were dark and cold. They said, I've given up. I saw an angel in pieces, as if the pieces all fell from the sky. I said in my heart, I believe this sad angel someday will fly. You know, life rains down so hard upon some people that we know. It tears their faith and their hope away, and they walk around like ghosts. We see them as they are breaking, and as their spirit dies, but deep inside we still believe they will come alive and fly. I saw an angel in pieces, as if the pieces all fell from the sky. I said in my heart, I believe this sad angel someday will fly. Now she walks across the room like she could walk across the sky. And those old dark eyes are so alive, they set the room on fire. This is no shattered angel, I say to myself. I feel Zuzu's petals, I hear one small bell. I saw an angel in pieces, as if the pieces all fell from the sky. I said in my heart, I believe this sad angel someday will fly. I saw an angel in pieces, as if the pieces all fell from the sky. I said in my heart, I believe this sad angel someday will fly. Look how beautiful you are.
Woo!
Beautiful, Don.
Love that one, Don. Thank
Beautiful
you.
song.
Good
You're
to see
awesome.
you all. You know what? I don't really have much of a plan today. Anybody wants to hear anything, just put it in the chat. I'll try to get to it. Brandon will let me know about it. I don't like looking at the chat too much because I get distracted. Pretty bad performer who's distracted in the chat all the time. Like you know, just stare at me and watch me read people's comments. It doesn't seem right for me. Can I remember how to play this? Gonna have to practice that one. Sorry about that. All the days of her youth were spent in housing subsidized by the government. By the time that her neighbors were 12 years old, they knew how to steal automobiles and play that rock and roll. Shoo-up, shoo-waddy-waddy project girl, shoo-up, shoo-waddy-waddy, oo-doo-wah-doo-wah. Shoo-waddy-waddy project girl, shoo-up, shoo-waddy-waddy, oo-doo-wah-doo-wah. I was raised on the other side, with the white picket fences and a brand new bike. When the sun was hot and the days were long, my dad turned on the sprinkler to save the lawn. But now I'm grown and I work all day. When I come home, I'm homegrown and complain. But my project girl puts me in my place, calls me a middle-class spoiled brat right to my face. Waddy waddy project girl, shoo-waddy waddy oo-doo-wah-doo-wah. Waddy waddy project girl, shoo-waddy waddy oo-doo-wah-doo-wah. And by the time that she married me, she was already adept at austerity, and she can keep us going on my piddly pay. She can cook a potato 119 ways. Waddy waddy project girl, shoo-waddy waddy oo-doo-wah-doo-wah. Shoo-waddy-waddy project girl, shoo-bop, shoo-waddy, I love my project girl. If my young daughter hates what we eat, she's liable to pick it up and throw it at me. Well, the projects have never been in her home, but her mother gave her project chromosome, so it don't matter where she may live, she will always be a second generation project kid. Project girl, do-wah, do-wah. These classy women in their fancy clothes, they're very impressive, I suppose, but I wouldn't trade my project girl for every Maserati mama in this whole wide world. Love my project girl. There you go.
Woo!
Yeah.
Oh,
Love that one.
beautiful.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
It really is nice. Beautiful.
I left here at 7, it's 11:30. I am dragging myself up the stairs. The 16-hour days have a definite way of making me want to pull out my hair. Tomorrow is ringing my doorbell, singing I am right down here waiting on you. I am weary as hell, I know only too well. There's not a whole lot I can do. Terry is sleeping alone with the TV on. I am on the edge of the bed. Some guy on my TV is talking right to me. I don't hear a word that he says. My mind is working against me, pointing all of my faults out to me. But hey, me and all my imperfections are tired. We just need to get us some sleep. I just need to lay me down beside my sleeping lady, and the only sound will be a gentle breathing during the hours away sleep. She is breathing a new life into me. And when the morning erases the night, I will have what it takes to get back in the fight. If her breath is heavy or light or unsteady when I lie beside her this way. My body naturally knows that it has to be breathing the very same way. Please don't ask me about being married, or how could I ever explain to someone what it means to a man to lie by his companion with their two bodies breathing as one. I just need to lay me down beside my sleeping lady, and the only sound will be a gentle breathing during the hours away sleep. She is breathing a new life into me. When the morning erases the night, I will have what it takes to get back in the fight. When the morning erases the night, I will have what it takes to get back in the fight.
Woo! Nice.
That is such a sweet love song.
It really is. It's a beauty.
Sure is.
I can picture the day I was dragging myself down the hallway with the TV. I can just picture the whole thing. I'm just an ordinary working Joe, Chevrolet Nova, 15 years old. It's a bucket of bolts, but the thing still runs. Don't ask me where my inspection sticker came from. Put a new carburetor on that Chevrolet. I blew the radiator on the very next day. Took $200 to fix that car. That's $100 more than I can sell it for. I get paid on Friday. I buy a quart of Budweiser. I don't believe in this work hard to get ahead stuff. I believe in the mega bucks. Six months ago, my boss promised me a raise. He promised me again the other day, be the happiest man that ever lived if I could pay my rent with his promises and get paid on Friday. I buy a quart of Budweiser. I don't believe in this work hard to get ahead stuff. I believe in the mega bucks. Odds on me hitting the mega bucks, I think it's 5, 6, 7, 8 million to 1. The odds on getting rich and what they're paying me, make 8 million to 1 look like a real sure thing. Get paid on Friday. Buy a quart of Budweiser. I don't believe in this work hard to get ahead stuff. I believe in the mega bucks. Get paid on Friday. Buy a quart of Budweiser. I don't believe in this work hard to get ahead stuff. I believe in the mega bucks.
Yeah.
They're done. All right.
That is a
Mega bucks.
testosterone song, isn't it? That's a testosterone. There's not a lot of peace and love in that song. That's a man song.
Yeah.
Hey, Dan, we've got a couple of requests I wanted to let you know.
Okay.
Lumper Song from St. Coop on YouTube. Never by Sarah and Victor Dance by Sherry.
Wow. And on who's on YouTube? What's that person's name?
His name is Saint Coop, or
Okay,
her name could be.
so read them to me again. What is it? Never.
Lumper Song.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then Never by our very own Sarah here on Zoom, and Victor Dance by Sherry.
Okay. Gee, that sounds like a good end to this set, doesn't it? I couldn't have
Right?
planned it better than if all right. You know, I think around the time that I wrote Never and the MTV Love Song, that I was more daring than I was after that. Like I just would follow my whatever I wanted to write about, and then after that I got nervous about it. I didn't want to like I knew that I was getting good at putting my hands on people's hearts, like, do you know what I mean? And then with things like Never and these other ones, you know, I was nervous that I would abuse the power, abuse the gift, right? Didn't hurt somebody, you know. But hopefully, both of those songs, if you get through to the end, they're empowering. I think anyway. So I love this idea of poet, spoken word, and music together, as we've learned from watching these stupid things every Thursday. I like the poets, you know. So, my father, my mother, my brother, and me went to McDonald's for something to eat, and I played in that room with the slide and the toys, and I had lots of fun there with 5 other boys. But when my dad said it was time to go, I wanted to stay, so I told him no. And he slapped on my face, and he pulled on my hair in front of those 5 other boys that were there. Now I'm in bed, I'm alone and I'm sad. It's dark, I can't sleep. And I'm mad at my dad. Never, never, I will never. My friend Kathy Cole doesn't have many things, but she had this one doll that could talk and could sing, but her parents got drunk, they had a big fight, and they yelled at each other way into the night, and the next day her mother picked up that doll, and she threw it at Kathy, and it crashed on the wall. Then after that, when she pulled on the string, the doll wouldn't talk, the doll wouldn't sing. I love Kathy Cole because I think she knows how it feels in your bed to be sad and alone. Never, never, I will never. I will get my own paper route like that kid Billy Ring, and I will buy Kathy Cole a brand new doll that sings, and we will hide it in my backyard where it will be safe, where no grown-ups will break it or take it away, and we will get married and have our own girl and boy. And we will not slap their faces, and we will not break their toys, and we will love them and hug them and tell them they're great. And we will never make them feel like I feel today. I will always remember how I feel today. And I will never make anyone feel this way. I will always remember how I feel today, and I will never make anyone feel this way. Never, never, I will never.
Thank you, Dawn.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, thank you, Don. That's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Oh, that was cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't take it. Like when I'm watching on TV, these kids by themselves leaving their homes and over there in Ukraine, they can't take it. They can't take it. And be nice to kids. What the hell's wrong with you, everybody in the world?
Exactly.
Is that so hard? Is that so hard to be nice to kids? For Christ's sake, jeez. All right.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
That's for sure.
Say that again, please.
I said, that's for sure. When somebody said amen.
Yeah. That's yeah. All right. So I got to play this with Everett this weekend. So he did the callbacks and everything. That was really fun. My dad said, "Son, if you keep going on this way, bad report card, real bad report card, you're gonna wind up as a lumper on a cruise someday." I said, "Dad, what's a lumper?" I was laughing so hard, rolling on the floor. Dad, no one uses words like a lumper anymore. The guys are outside. It's Friday night. I gotta go. See you later, and thanks for the lecture. If you keep doing the things that you are doing, what's a lumper if the things you're doing don't do you in? What a lumper. They can always use another lumper down on the Second Chance crew. Me, Billy Bob, Rick and Ray, those were my drinking buddies. We were living for the party every Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And on Sunday, don't forget Sunday, one by one they moved away from home. You know the time went by, the next thing I know, I'm 31, I'm drinking with a bunch of 19-year-olds. What a loser, man, what a loser if you keep doing the things that you are doing. What a loser if the things you're doing don't do you in. They can always use another lumper on the Second Chance crew. Second Chance people got a touch of gray, party their teens and their 20s away. But now they're sober, starting over in their 32. They're just so glad to be working on the Second Chance crew. I wound up in the program, I know that's no surprise. I make the minimum wage, but at least I didn't die. You know my knees are aching and my back is sore. I've been dragging these ladders across the plywood floor. And Dad, I never wonder what a lumper is anymore. You know why? 'Cause I'm a lumper if you keep doing the things that you are doing. You're gonna grow up and be a folk singer. Do you want that? Nobody wants that. If the things that you are doing don't do you in, have some self-esteem. They can always use another lumper on a Second Chance crew. Said if you keep doing the things that you're doing, if these things that you are doing don't do you in, they can always use another lumper on a Second Chance crew. Smoke it, drink it, puff it up your nose, while your education goes up in smoke. And when you're in your 30s and the party is through, saving you a seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew. A seat at the meeting. At the meeting, it's like a revival, really. A seat at the meeting. A seat at the meeting. Hi, I'm Don. I'm an alcoholic. Seat at the meeting.
Hi, Don.
Hi, Don. Ah, seat at the meeting. A job lumping on the crew. Seat at the meeting and a job lumping on the crew.
Ow!
Yo! All right. Fun and great.
17,
Great
here
song.
they are. Look at them all. All right, Oli, hello. The Upper Peninsula of Michigan has finally rolled in here. Hi, what's the temperature outside, Oli?
Well, 15.
15.
Oh, he
above.
weighed.
That's right.
15 above.
Ouch.
15 above. That's not bad for the Upper Peninsula of Michigan, I gotta tell you. That's your April temperature, ladies and gentlemen. Good to see you. Hi, Patricia. Nice to see you. Welcome.
Hey,
And I changed my perspective. I want more people to move to the UP. I think it's too lonesome up here.
Oh, wow. I was hoping you'd say that because this
my
attitude of
my
trying-
niece lives up there. She lives in Kalkaska.
Oh, that's like 4 hours. No, that's 5 hours from here.
That's how big, take a look at Michigan, those of you that have never been there. There's like a whole world on the top of it. Like you cross this bridge, and then there's a whole other country, basically, on the Upper Peninsula. And that's where Oli lives. And I have a friend that lives up there. He goes, yeah, that's 6 hours away from where I live. So you're closer to Wisconsin. Is that true, Oli?
Yeah, 6 miles from Wisconsin.
So it goes all the way from.
There's still skiing up here.
Still skiing. Right, you'll be doing that in May as well. Does the Upper Peninsula does it bridge 2 lakes? Is there a different lake on one side, or is it all?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Lake Superior, Lake Huron and Michigan.
So parts of the Upper Peninsula are on 3 of the Great Lakes, right?
Right. Yep.
So I have to tell you, I think I've told this before. So when I was up there, I was leaving from Santa Croix, I guess. Well, I forget what's that. Not just over the bridge there.
Oh yeah, Sault Ste. Marie.
Sault Ste. Marie, right? Okay. So and I said to the guy, it's nighttime. It's kind of wild up here. Do I have to worry about deer? He goes, you won't have to worry about deer till you get over the bridge to get out of the UP. I go, what? How's that possible? He goes, we have wolves up here. They take care of the deer.
He wasn't lying.
I asked
I got about
Again,
10 deer across my property every day.
Deer,
asked my sister what it was like to live up there. I said, what is there to do for excitement? And she said, the big excitement is the deer pole at the circle in the middle of town. And I said, what is a deer pole? And it's where all the hunters bring their deer and they hang them to show off.
That's good times.
Oh,
Right,
yeah.
so I'm gonna drop an F-bomb in a minute. If you hate that kind of thing, sorry, right?
Not like Lynn.
I gotta tell you a story my dad told me about being on Nantucket one time, and he's asked a woman. He said, "What?" He said, "What do you do around here in the winter?" And the woman, this is a well-dressed woman. This is a big, like a ball that they were at. Everybody was in tuxedos and all that. And he says, "Well, what do you do around here in the winter?" And she said, "Well, you fish and you fuck, and the fishing is awful." All right, here we go. All right, so let me do this one song. We'll take a little break. If you can donate a couple of bucks. Remember, I paid Brandon for this, and he does tremendous work behind the scenes, including those of you that have come all the time. 2 times clearing this room from Zoom bombers from Russia or someplace who were doing all kinds of unsavory things in my little hologram squares. And so he's an invaluable, invisible and invaluable part of this thing. So just remember, if you're able to cast a few bucks in the direction of my Venmo or PayPal, that it's really about paying Brandon. And like I said, if there's money left over, I'll think of you when I'm in the supermarket tomorrow. So I'll do all of that information is in your chat. So if you're on, and so those of you on Facebook, hello, and YouTube, hello, Facebook people or anybody with a Facebook page, go ahead and share this. You can share it from my fan page or my regular page if you're a friend. And so that's the way most people get to see it. And so who requested, Brandon, the victory dance?
Sherry did.
Sherry. Okay, Sherry. Sherry, in order for me to play this song, you have to unmute and say hello to me.
Hello, Don.
Okay, that's good. That's all. That's the cost of this song. That's the price. I overheard a man complaining how his 401k was not performing quite how he would like it to. As he sipped his double latte and continued to complain, I thought about that day in Maine in a house with no running water and two-seater outhouse in 1982. We were living in the shack with the outhouse in the back. If I'm not mistaken, you were pregnant too. We thought it might be funny to count all of our money and discuss all the investing we could do. We pulled our pockets inside out, we pulled the cushions off the couch, we stuck our fingers down deep inside. And then we emptied out the pockets of the jackets in our closet, but not one single penny did we find. So after the realization our financial situation was not conducive to investment at this time, we decided to invest in what we've always done best. Danced around the kitchen for a while, we do the victory dance. And life is such a mess, we don't know what else to do. We do the victory dance when being penniless became literal to me and you. Well, you can jump off of a building, take a bunch of pills, you can walk around in a trance. If you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, go on and do the victory dance. I got fired from a job I have been working at for 20 years faithfully. Oh dear, oh God, oh my, how will I ever survive without a corporation taking care of me? I was so stressed out for weeks, I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I didn't think that things would ever turn my way. And then a couple months went by, I began to realize, man, I really hated working at this place. So I started working for myself, I improved my mental health, now I'm happier than I've ever been before. Oh dear, oh my, oh God, I should have quit that stupid job 19 years ago. I do the victory dance when my life forces me to go out on my own. And then I just declare victory and I march my army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know, and things are always left to chance. If you're a clerk or you're a farmer, work from home in your pajamas, do the victory dance. When your life forces you to go out on your own, I say, just declare victory and then march your army home. There are things you can't control, things you'll never know, and things are always left to chance. But if you wake up in the morning on the right side of the lawn, if you're a clerk or you're a farmer, work from home in your pajamas. If your health is getting worse, but you can still flirt with the nurse. If you lose your money, but you still got your honey. If you lose your honey, but you still got some money. If you find it hard to cope cause your kids are all on dope, don't surrender yet. Try not to forget in this game of life we're in. In this game of life we're in. In this game of life that we are in. If you don't die, you win.
Yo, Don.
Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Welcome. So I'll be back in 3 minutes. I'll play till about 25 past. If you have anything else you want to hear, there's only going to be 3 more of these after this. I'm just doing it till the end of March. So I want to make it as much about you as I can, whatever you want between now and then. So I'll be back in just a few minutes. And thanks to everybody who's able to donate. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you, Don.
everybody. Welcome back. I want to say thank you to everybody that was able to throw a few bucks toward me and Brandon today. Appreciate it. I also want to acknowledge over on Facebook, I was just poking around over there, Mark and Sam, who both came to the Bull Run show. So thanks a lot, you guys. Good to see you. And Mark was talking about my hair being down. I'm cold, so it's like a it's like a scarf. All right, that's the way I think of it. I'm gonna read in a minute, but maybe before that we'll do, I don't know. So here, why don't you, anybody that's in my world here, go ahead and unmute, and when I read, I like to be able to feel connected to people. Brandon will monitor it. So this is my new book. It's called The Hitchhiking Years. That's a picture of my wife and I hitchhiking on the adventure. I've been pushing this book now for a long time. I'm getting pretty sick of it. So I'm going to read from my other book. This is my older book. It's called Memoirs of a C Student. This is the desktop right here. See this right here? This is a picture of an old desk with an ink thing in it. That's how old I am. So everybody unmute, Patricia, everybody, so that I can hear you. Because I'm going to read this, and if I say something funny and I'm just laughing here, it makes me feel a little bit like I have mental health issues.
You're not alone, Don.
No more than the rest of us.
Like, that's a weird feeling like that. I know this is funny what I'm saying, and I'm laughing, even though I wrote it and it was 15 years ago. I'm laughing, but I don't hear nothing. It's like it's too weird for me. So, all right. So I'm gonna read a little piece about junior high school, which I guess now is called middle school. But here in Lynn, we had I was in the same building from the 1st grade to the 9th grade. It was an old building built in 1906, and I still dream about that building. Like when you spend that much of your formative years in a building like that, it just gets in your dream world. Do you know what I mean? The stairwells and all that. And when I wrote this book a while back, I had a lot of fun remembering this. So it's called Breed School. It's gone now. Because I had just barely gotten promoted from the 6th grade, I was put in a class in the 7th grade with what I would refer to as perennial 7th graders. Class was called 7I. And in junior high school in the 60s, the 7th, 8th, and 9th grades were broken up into 10 groups, and each of these groups was given a letter from A to J. So if you were destined for college, you were in 7A, B, C, or D. If you were destined for like maybe if you were going to business school, you were in 7E, F, G, or H. My community, 7I, was kind of a containment area.
Oh no.
So Breed School had 2 buildings. There was a newer building called the Annex, but in the original building that was built in 1906. And the older building is where they attempted to contain the students in 7I and 7J. Don't even ask me about 7J. 7J was like a work release program. Like it was. We had to play gym with them, like 7I and 7J. Like I weighed as much as this microphone stand right here. Like it was in gym playing bombardment. Does anybody remember that? Where you
God, yes.
soccer balls and throw them at each other, and they, like I was getting soccer balls thrown at me from 4 feet away by men in the 7th grade. They had tattoos. They were driving their own car to school. Unbelievable. All right. So here's a description of the building. The floors creaked, the stairs were made of metal, the glass in the doors that swung open to the stairwells had been broken so often that the administration had begun using a special type of replacement glass that had chicken wire inside of it. This is before plexiglass. I'm older than plexiglass. I just want to let you know. All right?
Me too.
Yeah.
I remember that glass.
They had chicken wire in it. Now, these windows would still be routinely broken intentionally by the students, but the chicken wire would hold the pieces together and keep them from spraying down the corridor. Now, the desks and the chairs had been there since 1906. They each had cast iron bases that were bolted to the floor. The school administration began replacing them in 1969 with the non-stationary type after the class of 7J discovered that the structural integrity of the classroom floor could be significantly compromised if everybody rocked back and forth at the same time in their bolted down chairs.
Oh. Oh.
The desks were made of wood. Each one had a hole in the top right corner that had once held an inkwell. The tops were engraved with witticisms from previous generations of West Lynn adolescents. These pearls of wisdom were often carved so deeply into the wood that you would have to place your work paper on whatever section had the shallowest carvings, so your pencil wouldn't fall into a crater and tear your paper. When I use the term shallowest, I'm referring to the actual physical depth that the jackknife had penetrated the wood. I think it would be fair to say that all the literary content of these etchings fell well within the term shallow. Here's a few examples. Eat me. This place sucks. Colleen is a douchebag, spelled D-O-O-S-H. A lot of profundity here. Everyone in 7i had one thing in common, bad grades, but aside from this lack of scholastic achievement, we're a fairly diverse group. There were some good-natured slow kids who would now be diagnosed with learning disabilities, but in the 60s, they were just called stupid. There were the quiet kids who had a home life that was so messed up that they weren't able to concentrate. And then there was a group of 6 or 7 really tough girls. This was my first exposure to young women whose destiny included significant jail time. They were always late for class. I suspected that their perpetual tardiness was intentional because they so loved to make the big entrance. These young ladies all had a God-given natural talent for drama. Miss Jones, you're late. Do not sit down. Go straight to the principal's office. Miss Jones ignores him, brushes off his commands like an insect from her shoulder, and sits at her desk. This may be the only few moments this month that Mr. Lewis will have the undivided attention of his entire student body. As a group, we place our elbows on our desktops, lean forward, rest our faces into our open palms, and watch intently as the familiar scene unfolds. Mr. Lewis repeats his command. Before he is half finished, Miss Jones lifts up her desktop and hides her head behind it. I am beside her, and I can see by her face how thoroughly she is enjoying both ignoring Mr. Lewis and the attention it had brought her. He walks to her desk, shuts the desktop, and in so doing, accidentally touches her shoulder. Okay, boys and girls, now it's showtime. She leaps out of her seat, and with a head-bobbing swagger, invented and perfected by 7th grade tough girls, she screams, "Don't you touch me! Don't you ever touch me! Who do you think you are?" He repeats his command for her to get out of his class, and with every eye in 7i fixed upon her, she struts to the exit, sweeps a stack of math books off a table en route, slams the door behind her, and disappears into the hallway. We are ready to give a round of applause and a standing ovation to Miss. Magnificent performance, but the beet red face of Mr. Lewis, counterbalanced by a throbbing blue vein at each temple, warns us against it. I remember thinking that whoever had the good fortune to marry the lovely Miss Jones could expect to see a grown-up version of this performance played out upon occasion in a restaurant or two during the course of his marriage.
Oh man.
All right,
Nice.
all right.
I think about those days. It's really something. Like later in that story, there's a situation where, in those days, in the old building, the building we were at, there were no lockers. So the kids whose every class you were into was somebody's homeroom, and their books were inside the desk that you were sitting at, right? So one day, these guys, like these were men, right? There was like their sixth year in the seventh grade. None of them are in the graduating picture. They never got past this. They just kept repeating the seventh grade, and then they went and joined the military or something, right? Like it was like that. So there was a guy, Glenn, his name was. Like when he sat in his desk, he reminded me of like when a gorilla is on a tricycle in the circus. Do you know what I mean? Like, he's like this full-grown man at his little child's desk, and they started. There was nobody. The teacher was late for the class, and they started throwing books out the window, like right, just one after another. It was unbelievable. Somebody from downstairs saw Algebra 1 book sail down, and he's like, "Oh, this can't be good." And he came up, and he was sure that when they ran out of books, they were going to start throwing little young, skinny students like me out next, right? And that's the way it was. I don't know how old I was then, 10, 11, and I was in a crime zone every day. So, it's just wonderful. Well, it's great, good. It's all good. Did anybody else have a like go to a tough school here? Let's open it up for conversation. Anybody? Nobody?
Well, Don, I just wanted to ask you if you know any of those scoundrels behind me. At your very first outdoor performance at the Burn in Somerville
All right, so
on August 1st of 2022.
Go on gallery view, you can see that. Oh, Brandon, can you spotlight that? Neil, there he is. So I do know all of them. I even know the guy with the blue shirt behind your head there.
What a guy, huh?
Every single one of them is here today, actually.
That's right. That's right.
Oh, that's great.
All right.
I'm so excited about performing. I think pretty soon people are going to be ready to do house concerts, and then when that's the case, then I'm going to not travel so much. I'm going to just play in people's houses and all that. So that's what I want. I just want to be close to home, and I say that, but I'm flying to Kansas in April, to Michigan in May, to Nevada with doing the storytelling thing in June. So I will have to travel, but we'll see how it plays out. But it's good. All right, so 8:22. Let me play another song, I guess, or something like that, and then we'll have our after party. Alistair Mook is here. He's up to all kinds of interesting things. We'll talk to him, and then Peter Lendorf, and maybe we'll talk Tim Mason into doing something or whatever. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so grateful to you all. This little army of people has really helped me survive, not just financially but mental health wise, this entire 2 years. So, and now I'm feeling like causing trouble. Like I'm stepping back into the world with 2 years worth of pent up mischief in my in my bloodstream. So
You've helped us survive too.
oh, thank you. Appreciate it. And don't forget that at the end of March I'm going to stop doing these shows, but any of you guys here that are here, if you reach out to me and say, I want to gather a group of my friends together, will you come and play online? I'll do it. I mean, you got to find a few bucks for me, but it doesn't have to be much. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll do it no matter what. So if you're longing for, and if you live in a far away and you're not going to be able to see me, and we're not going to be able to be in the same place, just remember that I will say yes to you if you want to put a bunch of your friends together and family together. And I don't care if there's 5 of them. Just make it so that I can tell my wife I made a few bucks. That's all, right? And we'll do it. We have the technology now, and So as many of you know, I live in a 2-family house now in the country. I'm a country man now. I look like a mountain man today with my hair down. And my daughter is and her husband and their son is next door. So we're all just like a commune here, you know. This is a song that I wrote when she was leaving home for the first time, and I actually sang it at her wedding. Which was very emotional. She got married in Costa Rica. She said, I'm getting married in Costa Rica. You can come if you want to. Here's directions. So it was really something. Little bird perched on a mountainside, her little wings wondering if they can fly. A pretty little song singing questions to the bereaved. Can these little wings really bring me to my dreams? The wind is there to dance upon, the rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. And when you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you blue is the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like you. She knows you love her, she knows you're right, that there really is danger in the wind at night. And she sees how you worry every single time she leaves. But in her dreams at night, it's only blue sky that she sees. The wind is there to dance upon, the rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. And when you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you blue is the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like you. Now you stand behind her on the mountainside. When she looks back, you see the whole world in her eyes. When the wind lifts her skyward, her song is on the breeze, singing, can these little wings really bring me to my dreams? The wind is there to dance upon, the rain keeps the rhythm in the dreamer's song. And when you ask me why the sky is blue, I'll tell you blue, that's the color of the boundless dreams of little birds who sing like you, of little birds who sing like you. Thanks, everybody.
Beautiful, Don.
Beautiful.
That
Bravo.
must have been tough to get through.
ACL was impossible at the wedding, and my son was playing guitar with me. Yeah, I was But I sang a song called Sense of Humor at both of my parents'
Oh,
funerals.
no.
I did, and I
No.
taught myself not to cry. Like, you know, you can't, it's a if there's some
That's
musicians.
compartmentalizing.
It's hard, but I know that I want it to be about her, right? And if I break down, then it becomes about me, and so that's what I use as a motivation not to do it. All three times, both of my parents' funerals and at her wedding, I, I just keep saying this. If you cross this line, then everyone's going to be worried about you, and you're stealing the moment from her. So that's how I do it. But that don't make it easy.
That's impressive. That's
Yeah,
impressive.
yeah. But when I sang at my dad's funeral, it was in this cathedral, in this old church in Lynn, where the sound just reverberates to the other world, and that was very emotional. But anyway, yeah, I teach. There's those of you that if you know anybody that needs to know about these sort of things, performance skills and all that. I've been doing quite a lot of that during COVID, and I did it before too, but now I do it on Zoom. So let me just go and get a glass of water. I'll be back in 1 minute, and we'll have our. I want to introduce you to Alistair and to Peter. Some of you may remember them; they've been here before. We'll see what they're up to, and we'll have a little. We'll have a little after party. So thank you. Let's have a thank you for Brandon while we can. While I'm thinking of it right now, for Brandon.
Yo, Brandon. Thank you as always.
Yes, Brandon. Thank you.
Those of you on the other platforms, if you want to come over here to Zoom so you can interact, you're welcome to, but you can remain anonymous over there as well. I understand. I understand the what do you call it? The witness protection program that you may or may not as well. All right, I'll be back in just 1 minute. All right, so thank you for another good Thursday night. Again, thanks to everyone who donated. Those of you that can't figure out Venmo and PayPal, there's a mailing address. You can take out your quill pen and some parchment and mail me a check. I kind of actually like that, getting an old-fashioned card in the mail and all that. So just want to let you know that that's available. Thanks everybody on YouTube and Facebook. We're going to keep the stream going for the after party, but again, you're welcome to come over here if you want to yap at me in between songs. A couple of questions that came up in the chats here. I'm going to be in Michigan on the Moira, I think, wanted to know, and I'm going to be in the Greenwood in Ann Arbor on May 6th. I'm looking to fill the Saturday. I may be doing a show with Matt Watroba out there. The Sunday is Mother's Day. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I want to do a show on Mother's Day or not. Maybe something private. So the Thursday is open. So I'm going to try to fill the whole weekend in. But right now, for sure, the Greenwood on the 6th and probably something on the Saturday. There's a possibility I may run up to the Upper Peninsula for the Saturday if something else doesn't come through. And then Sarah wanted to know about Nevada. So on Father's Day, I'm going out to do a show near Las Vegas with Bill Lepp and Bill Harley. It's a storytelling show that we do called Father's Days, DAZE, 3 dads telling stories about being dads. It's pretty funny, a pretty good show, and that's the reason why I'm going out there, and that's going to be on Father's Day. All right, so let's get our after party going. I'm gonna ask my friend Alistair if he's ready. Alistair, can you make yourself? There you go. Hi, buddy. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. This is Alistair Mook. He's a good friend of the community, and so tell you what, how about play a song, and then when we come around the next time, we'll try to catch up with all the millions of things that you're doing in this world. How's that sound?
That sounds good. Hi, everybody.
Hey, Alistair.
There's a song. This is on my mind. I hadn't played this in a while. I wrote it in 2016. It's a weirdly fertile time for people to write political-oriented songs. I did a show last night with Reggie Harris and Chris Matthews and Reverend Robert Jones, and in commemoration of Selma, and we were singing songs around race and progress and lack of progress. Anyway, thought I'd do it tonight. Love it or leave it, it's us against them. We're gonna make it great once again. This once was the home of the free and the brave. We all had it good here, except for the slaves. When we came here, this country was bright, pure, and pristine. The skies were all blue and the trees were all green. We fought for the rights of the nation we'd built, and all here rejoiced, except the natives we killed. And then we built cities and roads and great forts, protected by brave men aloft in great forts. And then came the railroads that stretched to the seas. We all had it good, unless you were Chinese. Then Abraham Lincoln, the guy with the beard, said no more to slavery, so that disappeared. And that was the end of race problems. We know black people were equal, except for Jim Crow. Now the late 1800s were elegant, grand, Victorian houses and trust in the land. The right to your income and vote you possessed. For all of us here, barring those who had breasts. Then depression and war kind of soured some years, but we all pulled together and got back in gear. Freedom secured in the home of the champs, offer not valid in internment camps. The 50s, that's when things really improved. The GI Bill and your mortgage approved. Employment was high and the future was bright for everyone, all of us, if you were white. And that's what we mean by be great again. Let's get ourselves back to where we were when freedom, prosperity, peace all prevailed for the Caucasian, Christian, straight, middle-class male. Love it or leave it, it's us against them. We're gonna make it great once again. This once was the home of the brave and the free, the world's greatest nation, if you looked like me.
Oh, that was awesome, Alistair. Thank you. Yeah.
That's great.
Oh, it was awesome, Alistair.
Yeah.
You know,
Guys,
Amen.
started jumping kind
Amen.
of hot and heavy on the first song
I
there.
say don't hold back. Just say how you feel.
Well, I'm not sure we've been great yet, but there's hope.
That was wonderful, and I'm excited to talk to you about all you're up to. That show that you did with those three friends of mine, that must have been online somewhere, right? Or
Yeah, it was for the Living Legacy project that Reggie helps run.
Yeah, Reggie Harris is a wonderful man from Pennsylvania, from Philly, and Reverend Jones has been with us here. He's from Detroit, and who else was on the bill?
Chris Matthews.
She's been here too. She's done After Party too, so that's a good lineup. All right, one more time for Alistair, and he'll be back.
Oh, that was awesome, Alistair.
So now I want to introduce you to my friend Peter, who's got a new album coming out. I don't want to give too much away about it, but he did say it was his first album in 25 years. So every 25 years he's going to make an album. I don't know if CDs will be around in 25 minutes rather than 25 years, but so can we spotlight Peter, please? There he is right there. So Peter, again, just kind of like with Alistair, why don't you play something and then we'll get into more detail when we go around again, okay?
Okay, great. So after listening to your story about the school, this is one of the songs on the album. This is about my high school. Well, my reunion in Fitchburg, Massachusetts, which is Fitchburg is the Lynn of Central Massachusetts. Well, I went back to Fitchburg, Mass. I had lunch with my old friends. We were the class of '68. It's 50 years since then. We arrived as strangers, 12 guys with thinning hair. We could have used some name tags when we first got there. Well, I went to an all-boys school taught by brothers, not by monks. We held dances in the gym. By and large, they stunk. We laughed about our teachers and Catcher in the Rye. How every day I had to wear a jacket and a tie. river that ran through my town changed colors every day. Some days it was blue and green, sometimes red, sometimes gray. The factories and paper mills have all but moved away. The river kept on flowing, and we all moved away. Well, Bill was a park ranger. He wore a wide brim hat. Our quarterback was a beekeeper. Try to picture that. Norman moved to Montreal. He was a social worker. Frank became a CPA. Bobby became a lawyer. Well, some were good at science. Some wrote computer code. Some of us are all high tech, and some still have flip phones. Well, a few of us brought our wives, a few of us are gay, a few of us still go to church, but most have dropped away. Some guys couldn't make it there. Jeff called from Idaho, and we made plans to say goodbye to Nick at his nursing home. The river that ran through my town is all cleaned up today. The paper mills have all closed down and the fish have come to stay. I looked at those old yearbooks. I was on the debating team. And for an hour or so, I was 17. Well, I went back to my hometown. I had lunch with my old friends.
Very nice.
Thanks.
Very nice.
Nice, Peter.
Very nice, Peter.
Thanks a
Nice
lot.
job.
Thanks.
Nice.
Peter.
It made me think of the Cuyahoga River. You know that song by
Yeah,
by
by
Randy?
Randy Newman. Yeah.
It burn on, big river, big burn on.
Yeah, that was the river in Fitchburg is called the Nashua River, and I just thought it was normal that it changed colors every day. You know, and my dad would say, "Well, they're making different kinds of wallpaper," and we just kind of thought that was progress. It's kind of like Alistair's song. You know, we think that's the way it's supposed to be.
All right. Yeah. That's nicely done. I like your style a lot, and I'm glad you put a new record out and come back into the world. So we'll go around one more time. Once more for Peter, please, everybody.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Peter.
Peter.
So, Tim Mason, is that you right there? So I got this third spot open. Why don't you take it? You want to do the third spot in the round here? Like, you know, let me see. Are you against reciting 3 poems tonight? That's what I want to ask you.
No, I guess not. I think I can handle that. Thank you, Don.
How you feeling?
All right. No, I have no stamina anymore. I worked and then I had to take a nap.
Yeah. You know, I once put an alarm in a woman's house that was 92, and I asked her, "How do you live to be 92?" She said, "Don't nap and don't lift heavy things." I go, "That's it?" She goes, "Yeah." I go, "Smoke whatever you want, yeah. Drink whatever you want, yeah. Just nap and don't lift heavy things." So,
I'm with her on that one.
so Tim, as you know, had some health issues recently, and we're glad to see him looking good here. And this spot is open, so why don't you go ahead and give us a poem and just be prepared every third time around here. That's okay.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll stay with the A little political theme here. This goes back to a time when political rhetoric was worth listening to. It is from numberless, diverse acts of courage and belief that human history is shaped. Each time a person takes a stand for an ideal, or acts to improve the lots of others, or strikes out against injustice, that person sends forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, those ripples build a current that can sweep down the mightiest walls of oppression and resistance. That was first spoken by Robert Kennedy at the University of Cape Town in South Africa in 1966. Gently, like water cracking stone, the droplet finds the granite's fault and changes the face of the mountain with persistence and patience. Man, that joke just ain't funny. The locker room was silent as he shut the door behind him, gently, like water cracking stone.
Love that. Love it.
Woo! Love it.
Oh,
Thank you,
Tim, that was
Tim.
powerful.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Tim. So appreciate that. You go ahead and sit down. Don't stress yourself out, and we'll get you up off
Very
your
well.
next to your campfire in a few minutes. So Alistair, let's talk a little bit. So one thing I know for sure is that you're involved with this show that I'm going to be part of on. Is it next Wednesday?
Yeah, this coming Wednesday.
This Wednesday. So at Passim, there's going to be a tribute to Scott Alaric. And Scott Alaric was a very dear friend of mine. Somebody that I was really, really close to. I never went a couple months without having lunch with him since 1991 or so. And we, and he, for those of you that don't know, he was a folk writer for the Boston Globe. Reviewed every quote from every newspaper that somebody from Boston has probably can be traced back to Scott Alaric somewhere or another. And he died suddenly, so we're going to be doing that. But what else are you up to, my friend?
Yeah, that's a big one. And I've been working hard on helping organize that thing and looking forward to doing it. Scott was a big guy for a lot of us, and he played a huge role in my own life. Definitely my Boston Globe quotes all come from Scott. And most importantly, the first one, when he took an interest in me early on, for no reason. I mean, he didn't have to. He chose, and he did that for a lot of people. What else am I into?
Yeah.
I'm helping. I created a new project this past year, John, called Opening Doors. I've been interviewing artists, mostly of color, but also white artists doing anti-racism work in their music. And we've been doing interview performances, hour and a half. It was all online during the pandemic. I had Dom Flemons from the Carolina Chocolate Drops, and Reese Palmer, Vance Gilbert, Dan Zanes and his wife Claudia, Pamela Means, a bunch of a really amazing classical violinist. And we talk about we use music as a framework to talk about bias and where the obstacles still are, racism and anti-racism work. I think you could use any field as a lens to look at that.
If people are interested in that, is there an online presence for it now?
It looks like Brandon put something in the Opening Doors Project net. Yeah, we're starting to do our first live performances. So Reggie and I will be doing something with the Boston City Singers, and I think we're going to have Kemp Harris, who's a great local performer who's been around for a long time, but I wasn't aware of until the last couple of years. Anyway, that's what I've been up to.
All this and children's music as well, right? Like, you got your hands in everything, don't you?
Yeah, the kids' music thing was I made an album a couple years ago, and you know about that, and
I have to tell you that song that you play, the title of that album, well, like it's a staple around here with all my grandchildren, going all the way from 14 down to the little guy.
No, that's nice to hear.
It's been really nicely put together recording, and the title song is killer. I mean, that's very important. Good
Well,
work.
thanks, man. I'm trying to look at activism with kids. It's something I've done from a teaching perspective from a long time, but the idea of writing songs and I've been learning a lot. But the entry point to the Opening Doors project was that I'm part of a group working in the family music space called Family Music Forward, which is a racial justice initiative, and it's had some big impact in the last couple of years. Has shaken up the Grammys and some other stuff, and that was kind of a real learning process for me. And then Reggie Harris and I started doing these education programs together, and that led to. So it's good to know we can still be learning new things in our late 40s.
Yeah, I think that's true. Why don't you play a tune for us?
Yeah. I won't play that title song, but I'll do. I mean, I can if you want, but I'd like to play.
No, do whatever you want. I just was just letting you know that that whole album is a staple here in the family.
Well, thanks, man. Here's one from that album, which is a quieter tune. Mark Aureli actually sang this with me, and the idea here was, when we talk with kids about these big historical people who've done great things, they feel awfully high up on the pedestal, and was there a way to kind of write them down off the pedestal and remind kids and all of us that they were all just kids once who made choices along the way. They weren't fated to do great things. They chose to do hard things. So this is called Everybody Was a Kid. Two little eyes staring from a crib, a tiny little mouth drooling on a bib, a tiny little fist with a tiny little grip. Before they grew up, everybody was a kid. Malcolm X was a kid, and Dr. King was a kid. Mahatma Gandhi was a kid. The Dalai Lama was a kid. Before they got tall, before they got big, they used to be small. Everybody was a kid. You are a kid. You got dirt on your hands. You wipe them on your shirt. Yeah, you wipe them on your pants. But one of these days, you're gonna get real big. How do I know? 'Cause everybody was a kid. So where you gonna go? And what you gonna do? Who you gonna be? We're waiting on you. We're holding our breath, and our lips are all bit, because we all know everybody was a kid. Oprah Winfrey was a kid, and Angelina Jolie, even Bill Gates and Muhammad Ali. Before they got known, before we knew what they did, before they got grown, everybody was a kid. Two little eyes staring from a crib, a tiny little mouth, drooling on a bill, a tiny little fist with a tiny little grill. Before they grew up, everybody was a kid. So where you gonna go? And what you gonna do? Who you gonna be? We're just waiting on you. We're biting our nails, though we keep it well hid, because we all know everybody was a kid.
Great.
Beautiful, Alistair.
Great.
Thanks, Alistair. That was great.
What's the name of that kid's album, Alistair?
It's called Be a Pain.
Pain. I recommend it highly. Honestly, it's all the songs in it are like that.
It's a great
really,
album.
Very, empowering and nicely done. It's a really nice piece of work. One more time for Alistair Mook, please, everybody.
Thanks, Don. Thanks, everybody.
All right.
Great, Alistair.
Peter Landorf, let's talk about your new record. What the name of your new record? I wrote down here. Let's see. Don't Be Discouraged. That's the name of it, right?
Yep.
And so every 25 years, you're gonna put an album out, right?
Yeah, every 25. Yeah, the last one was that was on Signature Sounds back when they first started, and they needed people. So I'm doing.
Is it you know, want to just tell? Is it a theme to it, or is it?
Not really. A lot of the songs are none of them are really my newest songs. A lot of them were songs that I wrote either, you know, when my late wife was, when she was sick, or, you know, there was a time when I was just doing music on my own, you know, up in this room actually, you know, writing songs and recording them on GarageBand and stuff like that. So a lot of them are older songs, and then there's some songs on it that I'm working with Jim Henry as the producer, and, you know, I just sent him a bunch of stuff, and I decided to just turn it over to him and let him pick what he liked, and he, you know, some of the songs are, you know, there's one song, you know, Please Mr. Squirrel, that I copyrighted that. That was a kid's song that I wrote in 1975, I think. So, so a lot of them go back a ways. And then there were some songs that I wrote specifically about the disease that my wife had, Huntington's disease.
Yeah, Huntington's disease, like Woody Guthrie had.
Woody Guthrie had, yeah.
And how long has it been since your wife passed?
It's been six years now.
And yeah, so okay, well, so she's represented here. That's good. Good, you know, I like the idea of speaking people's names who are no longer with us, or, you know, letting the world, you know, just invoking them. So when are you going to have them, I guess, would be the question.
I think we should be done. We should have it done by the end of April, anyway. You know.
All right, and then
it could be earlier. But.
All right, so people can find out. Go to your information here and find out.
Yeah, they can go to my website, and I did one of those Kickstarter things, and you know, I tried to raise money. I did pretty well. I'm really happy with what I did. You know, it was through Indiegogo, so I was able to raise part of the money that I needed. So now I'm trying to do pre-sales on Bandcamp.
All right. Well, why don't you give us a taste of the record?
Sure. So this song, I might as well do this one. This song was written as when I was going to a support group for caregivers, people that were caregivers for people with Huntington's or with any kind of dementia, and they suggested that I write a song. So this is what I came up with, trying to explain what Huntington's is, which is, and the song will explain it. You know what? I'm going to do a different song. I'm sorry. I'm going to do the title song to the album, which is a completely different direction. This is called Don't Be Discouraged. Well, don't be discouraged when the future is not bright. And don't be discouraged when nothing turns out right. Don't be discouraged when things look bad at first. No, don't be discouraged. It's bound to get worse. Well, your kid pulled off, your pipes seem to leak a lot. Your plumber's name is Ray. Your wife seems to call him over whenever you're away. Your kid pulled off her braces. She wants a new tattoo. Your in-laws, they just sold their house and they're moving in with you. And they're saying, don't be discouraged when the future is not bright. Don't be discouraged when nothing turns out right. Don't be discouraged if things look bad at first. No, don't be discouraged. It's bound to get worse. Well, they're cutting back your hours at work. There's rumors going round. Everything keeps going up while yours keep going down. You're angry at the government. You voted to let them know. Turns out it was all a trick, some kind of Russian TV show. And they're saying, don't be discouraged when the future is not bright. Don't be discouraged when nothing turns out right. Don't be discouraged if things look bad at first. No, don't be discouraged. It's bound to get worse. Well, you saved up for a vacation to go off to Italy. You ended up being quarantined with your plumber's family. And folks ask, how's it going, Pete? You always say it's just fine. Well, two can live as cheaply as one for about half the time. Two can live as cheaply as one for about half the time. And they're saying, don't be discouraged when the future is not bright. Don't be discouraged when nothing turns out right. Don't be discouraged if things look bad at first. No, don't be discouraged. It's bound to get worse. Don't be discouraged. It's bound to get worse. Thanks.
Ah, beautiful, Peter.
Thanks, Pete. All right, so
All right.
let's get Tim Mason up here. All right, word man, like, spit some words out, as they say.
Yeah, well, that was a great song, Peter. It reminded me of a mantra we had in college. When the situation is hopeless, there is nothing to worry about. So the project that I'm been working on the side is the 8:30 Club, which is kind of a virtual venue. Don is conspiring with me to do a special show in May featuring storytellers. We have a great show coming up in April with our friend Owen Kennedy and a couple other musicians. It's all about birds and the passion of birds. But at the end of April, we have a show coming up that I'm especially excited about. It's called One Desert, Three Ways, and it looks at three different photographers who have very different techniques. One of them takes time lapse on the night sky. Another one takes multiple images and puts them on foam core, three-dimensional photo sculptures. And the third is a traditional landscape photographer. And the thing they have in common is that they all take these photographs in the deserts of southern Utah. So we're conspiring with Ken Sanders of Ken Sanders Rare Books in Salt Lake City to put together a show that features all the different things you can do with photography and the same landscape. So that's you can find more information at 0830club.com on all of the shows. But this poem is in keeping with the theme of the One Desert, Three Ways. The wind dances. At night it sings to expansive empty valleys embracing medicine dreams. In these lands, time is dwarfed by space. The memories of the old ones are not erased. The blue flute man jams with coyote trickster's hand, a refrain carried on the sifting sands. The breaking of a twig, it echoes for miles through the red rock canyon mazes, past the places the mule deer grazes. Juniper, sage on sparse terrain, the touch of humanity this earth abstains, homeland to a race that left only footprints for time to chase. Wind dance dusting sandstone dunes, singing at night to sacred mirror moon, shadows at midnight, dust devils at dawn, wind dancing with time, wind dancing on.
Nice, beautiful, nicely done.
Right,
Tim, when I first met you, weren't you fresh out of Utah? Didn't you just come from there, or is that, or like before you got to Worcester, I guess?
Pretty much, I left Salt Lake. I couldn't find jobs. I actually had applied for a job in Reno, Nevada, and they flew me to Reno for the interview, gave me a night on the town, flew me back, and then did not offer me the job. And I figured if I was going to continue to get turned down for jobs, that was the way to do it. So I sent my resume to every exotic sounding place that I thought I might want to see. And lo and behold, a group home in Worcester, Mass, Worcester, as I thought of it, called me up on a Monday morning after interviewing me on the phone, not flying me out, and offered me a job. And I had to think about that for a little bit, consulted with some friends, one friend in particular who she and I would commiserate about how miserable our love lives were. She was from North Carolina. She said, Tim, move east, you'll get laid. And that was enough for a 20-year-old. I said, sure, I'll give this a shot. I landed in Worcester, Massachusetts. And after a couple of years in human services, where it became apparent that you get whatever the clients have, I exited, started working in an espresso shop called Coffee Kingdom and started a Pass the Hat series, and that was that.
All right.
So, good.
Let me
Good
just
40
back,
years.
I just want to back up for a minute. So you sit down and think of all the exotic places in the world, and somehow Worcester, Mass comes to mind.
It was actually just a random posting at the placement center at the University of Utah.
Right. It didn't
And I
fit.
had never heard of Worcester, Mass. I'd never been within 1,000 miles of anywhere in New England. So it certainly seemed exotic. And believe me, when I came, and first thing I did is I walked into a sandwich shop and they had grinders, and I'm like, what? I want food, not equipment. And I walked across the street and there was a bowling alley and it was all candle cans. And I thought, wow, I am definitely in an exotic place.
Grinders and candlepin bowling. That is as exotic as it gets. All right, amazing. We'll go around quickly one more time. I don't like to keep people much longer than 9:30 here. So, Alistair Moog, I got a lot of love for you, a lot of appreciation. I'll see you on Wednesday. Thanks for all the work you're doing in the world. Thanks for stopping by. On your mark, get set, play a song, young man.
All right, here I come. Nice to hear you all. I had the same question about Worcester, Mass being exotic. Glad you got in there with the hard questions. Peter, you sound great. Really nice to hear you, man. Good songs. Here's one. My wife is like a little snoring pancake. I have to flip her several times a night. Her heart's as warm as old Doc Miller's handshake. And if I should die tonight, it'd be alright. If this is what an illness is, I'm happy to be sick. There's a rubber wall around me, and I'm bouncing off of it. When I go, I look back with a twinkle in my eye and say, this is what it is to be alive. My cat Pepper chases her own tail and looks at me like, what else can one do? I'm always searching for your trail as well. I'd chase you down to Perth or Kathmandu. If this is what the world is like, I'm glad to just be here. Chasing after you as each year chases after year. And if I fall, I'll pick up with you. This is what it is to be alive. I gotta practice more. How much heartache can one little heart take? How far can you bend a willow tree before the next hail makes our little cart break? I'm just glad you're here to ride with me. My little girl runs around the living room, picking up whatever she might see. I'm right behind her, running round there too. It's all a circle game for her and me. If this is what an ocean is, I'm glad to be at sea. Bouncing off the waves like you come bouncing off of me. And if we sink, I'll think before I take my final dive. This is what it is to be alive. Yes, this is what it is to be alive.
Nicely done. Nicely done.
Don, I just want to say, I know we're short on time, but I've been with Scott dying. I'm just thinking about the people when I got here who were inspirational to me and who gave me a little pat on the head, which we all need when we're starting out. And Don was very much one of those people for me, which is why when he asked me to show up for a show, I do. And I've always loved the way you do your stuff, Don, and the way you keep humor alive in this scene. So thank you for being you, Muddy.
Appreciate that. Thanks a lot, man. We'll be face to face here soon. So one more time for Alistair.
Beautiful, Alistair.
All right, Peter Lindorf, on your mark, get set. Play a song, young man. Play a song.
I used to think about my bucket list. Was the glass half empty? Maybe the glass is too damn big. I woke up each morning, you were smiling at me. When I looked into your eyes, you were all I need. After every rainstorm, after that hurricane, remember when it snowed like hell? The sun always came out again. Things are what they were, they will be what they are. People said we were going places, and we did, just not far. So far, so good, I'm doing okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Can't complain, knock on wood. So far, so good. When I was 50, things were a little iffy. When I turned 60, I just said, what the hell? Things are what they were, they will be what they are. People said I was going places, and I did, just not far. So far, so good, doing okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Can't complain, knock on wood. So far, so good. So far, so good, doing okay, I'm feeling pretty good. Can't complain, knock on wood. So far, so good.
That was excellent.
Beautiful, Peter.
Thanks a lot.
Wow.
Peter, I have a lot of
Awesome, Peter.
That was really good. I like your music. I have since way back. When I first met you, probably 90, maybe at the OVN. It might have been.
Probably could have been, yeah.
But I always liked the music. Always I think you're a gentle soul and a good guy. I'm glad to know you. But the fact that you were a caregiver for your wife all the way through her thing, that puts you in another category for me. I have I just think you're a great human being. So good luck with your new album, and good luck with everything that you're doing. And thanks for being here and sharing your music with us. And don't be a stranger. One more time for Peter Lindorf, please, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Hey, Peter. Great to see you.
All right, Tim Mason, on your mark, get set. Give me some words. You have to unmute there, Hector. There you go.
All right, yes, my computer is acting a little funky here. Oh, words. Well, I got 2 or 3 poems competing. Let's see which one comes out. Um, it's been called a psychic vortex, but really, Central Square is just a little slice of Worcester dropped smack in the middle of politically correct Cambridge. Seems more a neighborhood when I walk it with my daughter. She was 3 years old, not knowing about fear of dogs or anything else when she's on daddy's shoulders. Talks to everyone she meets, offering bouquets of dandelions. She gathers she gathers smiles from all but those of best joy. Asks why everybody says she's cute. We take the T to Harvard Square, hang with the street players. Already knowing what open guitar cases are about, she takes pride in doing it herself, dropping pennies, nickels, dimes, whatever change I've given her into the felt like cases. That song was very pretty, she informs me after some consideration. Later, she tells me that people are really animals, that gorillas and monkeys are the same thing, and that isn't a star, it's a satellite, silly. Our nights end sitting on the porch. She tells me not to smoke ever again, reminds me to hear her words. I nod, hold her close, warm from the inside out. Those are the nights I treasure. They keep me safe on the other nights when alone I walk beneath the streetlights and moon. Knowing she is safe with her mom, I feel free to follow my feelings, seeing, imagining, knowing that there are stars above this city's glow. I smell the ocean, piss where I please, but affirm that there is nature here at sea level that is as vital as the moon shadows that now give the arches their glow. It healed the desert sunburn, returning the coolness of the sun-baked stone with the winter's dew. It's high desert nights, wild blood flows in me. It's Texas nights, my heart knows it to be. It's Boston nights, insistent that I see. Would that my body be where my memories are. I would put a note in the mailbox of the Thunder Guru, dance on the hoodoos, fornicate beneath the stars, pay the band, hold my daughter, and call it a day in Central Square.
Yeah. All right. Beautiful.
Beautiful, Tim.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. Thank you.
That was great. Thanks everybody. These are very important events for me and for everyone. It's just nice to see everyone. Next week, Pat Victor is going to be here. Alan DeBay, my buddy from Kansas, and Andy off at Irwin is going to be here too. So when I was coming up, it was. This meant something like peace, and it got so that later, like when you talked about peace, it seemed like not as easy to talk about it, but I think peace matters again, and as I told you before, I hadn't played this song in over 20 years, but I wrote it when I was 20 years old, and I was thinking I was gonna have a baby and a son, and wanted to tell him to be careful about his interpretation of what a hero is. So peace, everybody. Think about people that empathize, everybody. Storm clouds are gathering over yonder. The way that they're heading is clear. A fool's wind is blowing from the capital, and I can feel it getting drafty here. They will tell you they can turn you from a child into a man, but kindness and love can do it better than a rifle can. And if you really want to be a hero, if you need a cause worth fighting for, try to tell the people that the truth is no one ever wins a war. Everybody loses, everybody loses. That's the way it's always been. One side will lose more, the other side will lose less. Everyone will lose a friend, but no one ever really wins. So keep your eyes on the horizon and the clouds rolling in. Remember, real heroes never put their sails up in an arrogant and foolish wind. And if you really want to be a hero, if you need a cause worth fighting for, try to tell the people that the truth is no one ever wins a war. Everybody loses, everybody loses. That's the way it's always been. One side will lose more, the other side will lose less. Everyone will lose a friend, but no one ever really wins. Peace, everybody.
Peace, everybody.
That's for sure. Thank you so much, Don.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Tim.
Thanks, Don.
Welcome. We'll see you all soon. Next week, Pat Victor, Alan DeBay, Andy Alfred Irwin. The week after that, Matt Watroba, Seth Conley, and Kristen Meredith Thompson. And then since this week has 5 Thursdays in it, not sure what I'm going to do on the last one. Maybe we'll just give everybody in the Zoom a chance to talk or speak or read a poem. I don't know. But I love you all. Thanks to everyone who could donate. Thanks to everyone who was here but couldn't donate. Thanks to everybody on the other platforms. Thanks to our artists, Alistair Mook, Peter Lendorf, and Mr. Timothy Mason. So we don't just shut it off. You can just say goodbye one at a time as we do normally. That way it's less abrupt, you know.